Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, international updates now. U.S. President Donald Trump voiced optimism that a deal is near to end the conflict in Gaza ahead of Monday's negotiations with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The two leaders will meet today at the White House for a high-stake discussion that Trump has boasted could end the conflict in Gaza. Well, Trump projected optimism on Sunday as his administration works to close a comprehensive plan that would include the release of all hostages held by Hamas. A White House official said the U.S. plan calls for the return of all hostages, living and dead, no further Israeli attacks on Qatar, and a new dialogue between Israel and Palestinians for peaceful coexistence. Trump did not provide specific details of a prospective ceasefire for hostages deal in Gaza, but Vice President J.D. Vance said the top U.S. officials are immersed in very complicated negotiations with Israel and Arab leaders. Vance said he believed Trump's optimism is warranted, but injected a note of caution.
These things can get derailed at the very last minute. So while I remain very hopeful, I am cautiously hopeful. I'm going to let the diplomats continue to work on this. But our principle here is very simple. We want all the hostages to come home. We want Hamas to no longer be a terror threat.
Well, meanwhile, Israeli tanks pushed deeper into the Gaza city, and the military wing of Hamas said it had lost contact with two hostages held there. Well, the Hamas military wing, Al-Qassam brigades, called on Israel on Sunday to pull troops back and suspend air strikes in Gaza city for 24 hours so fighters could retrieve the captives. Now, Trump told in a phone interview he had received a very good response from Israel and Arab leaders to the Gaza peace plan proposal, and that everybody wants to make a deal. Hamas said the group had not yet received any proposal from Trump nor from the mediators. Israel has launched a massive ground assault in Gaza city, flattening whole districts and ordering hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to flee to the tented camps. And for more, we have Akshay Dongre joining us on this. Well, Akshay, with Trump-Netanyahu talks today and the complexity of the Gaza conflict and the multiple stakeholders involved, how realistic is the U.S. plan for a ceasefire for hostages deal? What can be expected today?
Something may result into a ceasefire, because there has already been a mindless loss of lives. Innocent children on both sides, have died. Innocent people have died, and there has been a lot of devastation, almost irreparable loss to the trust between the Gazans and the Israelites. So the situation is tense, but yes, the world is expecting a ceasefire. But how much a U.S. ceasefire plan is going to work out on the ground, that is the biggest question. Because there are claims being made that there are so and so ceasefire plans, and they will be implemented, and there are high hopes from the U.S. being expressed. But the similar kind of high hopes were being expressed during the ceasefire plans between Russia and Ukraine war, and the war that's going on between the two countries as well. There is skepticism that's still going on strong as far as hopes from the ceasefire plan is concerned, but there is going to be a meeting between Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump, and it seems in D.C. There will be some sort of a concrete decision that the two countries may come up with. How much they will result in a ceasefire, that's still a big question.
All right, Akshay, as you said, skepticism still prevails. How might the proposed U.S. plan, which includes a halt to the Israeli attacks on Qatar also, and the renewed Israeli-Palestinian dialogue, of course, affect the long-term peace prospects in this region?
Well, the peace prospects are clearly hit, with the kind of falling out of the war, the fallout of the war that has been happening, be it involving Iran, be it involving Qatar now at this point in time. The situation has become like a tinderbox, and there has to be U.S. intervention, because U.S. is the country that has some of the largest and the most number of bases in and around that area. Qatar is a nation that has one of the largest, military base there for the U.S. Army. That country being attacked by Israel says a lot, about the kind of situation deteriorating in the last few months and years, especially as far as the larger picture is concerned. So, we are expecting that Netanyahu, because of the immense pressure that is coming in from some of the closest allies of the U.S. and Israel, also now recognizing Palestine as a nation. There is hope that Netanyahu will have to concede into the demands of a ceasefire now before the situation gets worse, and sort of the public review absolutely gets changed against Israel, especially in the region.
All right. Thank you so much, Akshay, for all those